I'm Sophie Cartman and I'm going to read The Princess and the Peashooter by Connie Huck and James Kay for Roundabout Dramatherapy. Zareen lived with her dad and his second wife Tanya in the magical London suburb of Crystal Palace. It was magical because it was here she had met her best friend Yasmin, and here that her dad had first met Tanya. Zareen loved her stepmother to bits. She wasn't the sort of wicked stepmother that you read about in fairy tales. She was kind, thoughtful, and extremely cool. She had very long nails, which she painted a different colour every day, and she always called Zareen Princess. Zareen was pretty cool herself. She wore a sequined headscarf, which Tanya had bought her one Saturday at the stress-filled shopping centre. She was really into rap music and knew loads of lyrics. Plus, she always was the first to hear about the latest crazes. Recently, she'd been collecting the highly sought-after Fearless Fairy Tale collector's cards. She had Sleeping Brainy right through to Mouldy Socks. The only card missing from her collection was Rapunzel, which was annoying because it was the one she wanted most of all. There had been a whole load of new crazes at school lately. For a while, people had become obsessed with Zoom frisbees, basically just an overpriced cardboard circle, and had spent all break time throwing them to each other in the playground. Next came Zoom paper aeroplanes, basically just some overpriced folded up paper, which people had spent all lunchtime throwing to each other in the canteen. Then there were Zoomerangs, basically just an overpriced cardboard V-shape, which you could throw to yourself pretty much anywhere. One evening, Zareen saw an advert on TV for a Zoom Peashooter, basically just an overpriced paper straw, which she was sure would be the next big thing. The ad featured a dancing pea who sang a song that was so catchy, Zareen couldn't get it out of her head. The cool kids, they love shooting peas, and all you need is one of these. So get down on your hands and knees and beg your parents, please, please, please. Oh, please, can I have one, Tanya? Zareen pleaded, although she didn't actually get down on her hands and knees. Oh, I'm not sure, Princess, Tanya replied. They seem a little dangerous and a bit expensive for a paper straw. But everyone else's parents will get them one, begged Zareen. And then I'll be the only kid in school without one. Please, can I have one? Pretty please, topped with peas. Oh, all right then, said Tanya. But I'm buying it online. There's no way I'm taking you to Stressfield at rush hour. The very next day, Zareen's Peashooter arrived in a shiny green box that said, Zoom Peashooters, be the coolest kid in your pod, in large emerald letters on the front. Zareen gave Tanya the hugest hug and rushed off to school to show all her friends. Soon, Zareen was the envy of the playground. She showed everyone how it worked. You inserted the pea into a tube-like device, blew a huge puff of air into one end, and the pea shot out the other end at almost rocket speed. That's 7.9 kilometers per second, or 1,764 meters per hour. Zareen shot pea after pea into the air, and one even went so far it landed on the other side of the school gates. She was officially the coolest kid in school. The following day, the Peashooter craze had spread like crazies, as crazies tend to. And by the end of the week, pretty much everybody had their own Peashooter. People were shooting peas left, right, and centre. Then one afternoon during lessons, Darth Vader, one of the naughtiest boys in school, shot a pea directly at the teacher, Miss Peabody, as she reminded everyone to start thinking of ideas for the class assembly. The assembly will take the form of a debate, so we'll need to come up with a topic in the next couple of days, said Miss Peabody. As a pea zoomed straight across the room, straight past Serene's table, and straight up Miss Peabody's left nostril, the whole class burst out laughing. Zareen felt bad for Miss Peabody, who was a really nice teacher and didn't deserve to have a pea lodged up her nose. Miss Peabody was still trying to snort the pea out when the bell rang, so Garth managed to slip out of the classroom without getting in trouble. That break time, things went from bad to worse. Instead of just shooting peas into the air, people started shooting them directly at each other. Everyone was ducking and diving so as not to be pummeled by peas. Garth and his gang had taken to hiding behind trees, so it was difficult to avoid being shot. The next day, things got really out of hand. Instead of using squidgy fresh peas, Garth swiped a bag of frozen peas from his mum's freezer, which were much harder, much more slippery, and shot out of the Peashooter much faster. And they were cold too, as frozen things tend to be. "Ouch!" yelled Yasmin as a stray pea hit her on the backside. "Oh dear," sighed Serene. "This is all my fault. If those pea-shooting pea brains aren't more careful, they're going to take somebody's eye out and..." At that moment, a single frozen pea came zooming through the air and, as if in slow motion, hit Zareen square in the eye. Zareen burst into tears. Her eye was so sore and everything around her had gone fuzzy. Yasmin, who was always good in an emergency, took Zareen to the teacher, who took her to the nurse, who phoned Tanya's work, who fetched Tanya, who picked up Zareen, who said goodbye to the nurse, who sent them to the doctor, who examined her and said, "Well, there's good news, bad news, and okay news. The good news is that your eye is going to be just fine. The bad news is that you're going to have to wear an eye patch for a week or two until it heals properly. The okay news is that you get a patronising sticker that says, 'I've seen the doctor and been a good girl.'" That night, Zareen cried for ages, making her eye patch all soggy. "I don't want to wear an eye patch," she sobbed. "We could stick some sequins on it, Princess," suggested Tanya, trying to cheer her up. "Then everyone will be dead jealous at you at school tomorrow." "I don't want to go to school tomorrow," wailed Zareen, who felt more like a pirate than a princess. "What if someone else gets hurt by a pea-shooter? It'll be all my fault." "Well, if that's what you're worried about, crying won't help. You'll have to persuade everyone to stop using them," said Tanya. Zareen stopped crying that very second because Tanya had just given her the most brilliant idea. "You think the class assembly should be a debate on pea-shooters?" said Miss Peabody the next day. "Yes," replied Zareen as she explained her idea. "I'll make the argument for why pea-shooters should be banned in school, and someone else can make the argument for why they should be allowed, and then we'll all vote on it." "Well, Zareen, I think that is an excellent idea, and since no one has come up with anything else, pea-shooters it is. Garth, seeing as you found a lodging pea into my left nostril so funny, you can speak for the PPPs," she said, chuckling. "Huh?" said Garth, looking vacant, a look he often sported. "The PPPs, the pro-pea-shooter people. You'll need to start your campaigns immediately, and we'll hold the assembly on Friday morning." So Zareen put up posters with natty little slogans on them like, "No more black eyes from peas," and "Peas hurt knees." And Garth responded by sticking up rival posters that read, "Give peas a chance," and don't freeze the peas. The school was pretty divided on the issue, so when Friday came, nobody had a clue who was going to win the debate. Garth was first up, sporting his trademark vacant look and obviously feeling rather nervous. Give peas a chance, he said, clearing his throat. Yeah, we've seen all your posters, thought Zareen, looking at Yasmin and rolling her eyes. He then went on to make a very long-winded speech about how everyone had the right to a Peashooter for self-defense, including teachers, and that all teachers should be armed with Peashooters so they could shoot peas at badly behaved children. Peashooters can help bring discipline to this school. War and peas, he finished, not even making sense. Zareen noticed that this didn't go down very well with the crowd. War and peas? What on earth was he on about? Oh well, at least it helped her feel reasonably confident when it was her turn to take the stage. I know the risks of pea shooting better than anyone here, boomed Zareen, pointing at her eye patch. I thought pea shooters were fun at first too, but we don't need pea shooters to have fun. Our ancestors didn't have pea shooters and they still enjoyed break time. They played other games instead, like tag and hopscotch. And to those who think they need a pea shooter to defend themselves from other pea shooters, I say this. If someone pushes you over, is pushing them back the right thing to do? No. You tell the teacher, and they sort it out. Garth talks of increased discipline, yet pea shooters have brought nothing but increased chaos to this school. The statistics speak for themselves. The school nurse says playtime injuries have gone up by over 100%. We need stricter pea shooter control. The current pea shooter regulations are not strong enough. And so I say to you, fellow students, that we should ban pea shooters from our classrooms and make our schools safe again. There was a moment's silence in which you could have heard a pea drop. And then a spontaneous round of rapturous applause. Zareen's speech had gone down brilliantly, as most brilliant speeches do. When it came to the vote, every single person raised their hand to ban pea shooters. Even Garth's gang, who were clearly fed up of getting covered in mushy peas. I'm so proud of you, Princess, said Tanya to Zareen that evening. I've brought you a little something to say well done for standing up and saying your piece. Zareen's eyes lit up as Tanya held out the Rapunzel Fearless Fairy Tale card that was missing from her collection. You're amazing, said Zareen, giving her stepmom an enormous hug. That night, Tanya, Zareen and Dad all snuggled up together on the sofa to watch TV. Ouch! Yelped Zareen, pulling a small round object out from under the sofa cushion. Oh no, not another pea! How on earth could you feel that through such a thick cushion? Asked Dad. Because she's a princess, laughed Tanya. At that moment, a new advert came on the TV featuring a singing and dancing Zoom band, basically just an overpriced elastic band. The cool kids all wear Zoom bands and you can wear some too. Just beg your mums and dads to buy a pack for you. Beg them good and beg them hard. That's all you have to do. Then you can wear your Zoom band and be a cool kid too. They look cool. They'll be a real hit, don't you think? Said Tanya. I'm not so sure, said Zareen, imagining a Zoom band flying across the classroom and twanging Miss Peabody on the nose. I think I'll give this craze a miss. I hope you have enjoyed Share a Story from Roundabout Dramatherapy. If you would like to make a donation to support the work of Roundabout, we would be very grateful for your support. A small gift will make a big difference to the children and adults they support. Thank you.